This season of Medium at Large is brought to you by CeraQuin, the luxe but affordable skincare line your skin's been thirsting for. With not one, not two, but 5 essential ceramides, yes, 5, CeraQuin hydrates, restores, and protects your precious skin barrier. Say goodbye to dryness, say hello to a healthy, radiant glow exclusively at Chemist Warehouse. Let's go. He says, you tell Taz that Mark loves her too. Where does the name Mark connect?
Whoa. Mark is my dad.
Welcome to Medium at Large. I'm David the Medium, and here you can expect some real, raw, and honest conversations around what spirituality actually means to show you that it's not supernatural, it's actually just supernatural. Each week I sit down with some familiar faces from all walks of life to show you how spirituality shows up for them. No filters, no fluff, just raw human stories around belief, doubt, and everything in between. And yes, every now and then, spirit might show up as well. So whether you're deeply spiritual, deeply skeptical, or somewhere in between, you're in the right place. Hey guys, welcome back to Medium at Large. Very special episode today. I've got the legendary lesbian lovers and also the 2024 TikTok Creators of the Year. Welcome to Medium at Large, Taz and Allesia.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you both. Thank you for coming to join me.
Same. We've watched you before, so we're very excited to be here.
Yeah, feeling a little bit nervous, but mostly excited.
Good. Okay. Yeah. What were you watching?
You're on another podcast, actually.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm like, what did you watch? When did you watch it?
You're on another podcast with 2 other lesbians.
Yeah.
So. It's actually my niche.
Yeah,
I love that.
It is.
We're in a safe space.
Yeah, my season from now onwards, I'm only going to sit down with lesbians. Yeah. Lindsay Lohan, if you're listening, I'm waiting. No, but big thanks for coming on. So there's so much you girls really do. And I was talking to you off screen about this because this is the fun part when I do my podcast, because obviously you love to be able to do research on your guests and you want to know about them so then you can have fun questions and talk about things. But as a psychic, I actually don't want to know a thing about you girls. As I was saying, I knew about, who you are already, and I knew, from TikTok, but I want to get into a lot of different things with you. But first and foremost, I'm sure you've talked about this already anyway, but I'm really fascinated by your relationship because surprise, because my hand's been going like this the whole time, but I'm a gay man myself. And how old are you ladies now? Actually, let's not ask that because it's such a rude question.
Oh, I'm happy to answer that.
Yeah, you're so fine.
Yeah, because I'm 38.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously girls are a lot younger than me.
I'm 30.
Yeah, and I'm 27.
Beautiful.
Almost 28.
So how did you find the journey with you in terms of your sexuality and in terms of even not only coming out, but also the community's responses to you girls as a couple? How's that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've had a really good journey coming out. I didn't realize that I liked women up until I think I was about 19. And then I just got in a relationship with one and I felt very, very comfortable with that. So I shared it with my friends and family pretty much 3 months in. I did give myself that time to really understand what I liked and who I was and was able to sit comfortably in that. And the journey of coming out has been a really, for me, easy one.
Good.
Yeah, it's felt light. It's felt nice.
Yeah, lovely.
I had a different experience. I was discovering my sexuality probably around 15 years old, so still at school, and a lot of shame around it, growing up. I went to a Catholic school and it was just a hard time because I personally didn't want to admit that I liked women. I wanted to be straight at the time. And it was a bit of a battle, but I think, over those school years, once people found out, there was some bullying and all that kind of stuff. But it kind of made me see who was actually on my side. Yeah. And it made me feel I'm really feeling this way, so I have to go with what feels right, even though it's hard. We've been very lucky that putting our relationship online, there hasn't been much bullying, or we've actually got the opposite. We've had so much support. So
that's it. I find TikTok can be actually even though it can be quite toxic in terms of some of the comments, because I get smashed on TikTok or some things I say. But in terms of sexuality, it can actually be a really supportive place, which is good to see for the younger generation coming up. Because I'm 38 and when I came out, it was the early 2000s in Melbourne, and even Melbourne back then was very conservative still. So I just it's nice to see the journey sort of changing for a lot of people. I mean, I was
Yeah.
fortunate as well. Like I had a very supportive family and my friends couldn't care less and things like that, but it's good. But with, you know, a good segue into TikTok.
Yes.
Because congratulations, because you did win 2024 Creators of the Year.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Australia.
Live creators.
It was
of the
live
year,
creators
yeah.
because we live stream a lot.
Yes.
We absolutely love live streaming. So
Yeah.
Who won normal creators? Because you girls should be winning that as well. No,
thank you. No, Bridie Drake won this year. She's last year, and she's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it was great to win the live creator of the year. Like we started live streaming really early in our TikTok journey. So it's felt like the last 4 years have like built up to that. So it was cool.
And that's good because like I think all of us that are on social media, we always have this thing where, like, for me personally, like I'm actually quite terrible at TikTok because I just never know what to post.
Really?
And I guess I know it's all about being authentic, and I know I've actually got probably a lot that I could talk about. So, girls, what's your advice to me?
Oh my god!
As David, like,
I would say take us on the journey of a day in the life and start from there, because your life would be so interesting even on the boring days. And you know, even throughout it, like throughout your day, you could be like, oh, you know, this has just come to me, or I don't know how it works for you, but you know, really touch on that and I guess show us your life, you know, because obviously there's a big part of you, you know, that is David the Medium online, but also show us David too. You know, that's important.
Yeah, see, I just got you on the podcast for my pep talk. I'm like, help sort out my career, girls. Thank you. So when it comes to TikTok, like as you mentioned, like you've been on this journey for a few years. If you were able to go back to day one, and this is more about your social media journey, but what's the advice that you would give to yourselves? Is there anything that you feel like that you would change? And maybe is there anything as a couple on TikTok, and especially a same-sex couple, that like upon hindsight is that you wish you did differently, or that wish you talked about more, or?
That's a great question. I mean, personally, we've been very lucky where I can look back at our whole catalog and be like proud of what we put out. There's definitely been like a progression and change in what we started doing to where we're at now. But I wouldn't change it because we actually sometimes watch our older stuff and it just feels
great
nice.
Reflection, isn't
Yeah,
it?
It's like looking at a photo album. And you know, when you look at a photo album when you're a kid and you're wearing something like really daggy and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have wore that. Like sometimes we look at our content like that and we're like, oh, that's a bit cringy. But like at the end of the day, that's what was cool at the time and we wanted to do it. So I don't know. I don't think I would change anything, but definitely something that we are trying to change now is we had like not much community at the start when we were starting social media. So now we're like building a business to create that community for other people who are beginners and they need that support and guidance of how to turn like their social media hobby into a career. So we're kind of in that space now.
Yeah, I would definitely, if I could go back to us on, you know, maybe day 30, once we started really getting into it. Day one was like, you know, hee hee ha ha fun. But yeah, if I could go back to us, I would just say, keep doing what you're doing and like do more of it, because I think, you know, for me personally, I was like, oh, what am I doing? Maybe lacking confidence. And if I could just tell myself, you have no idea the journey that you're about to go on, and it's going to be so much fun. So just like go with it a little bit more, post more, show up more, lean into it. Yeah, I think I would tell myself that.
It's so good, and such an important message in general, because I think of all of us, if we could go back to who we were when we were like, you know, 18, for example, like it's such a good thing to reflect on, because it is about like just you're fine, like show up more, be you. You know, the element of authenticity around it. So it's good. I think it's a really interesting journey that you're on. And I think there's a lot more coming.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're like, great. We're not done yet. Great.
Cool. We didn't peak last year. That's awesome.
I have this conversation so much because I think, especially when we're in the public eye, or, you know, whatever we are doing that puts us in the public image, like we always wonder, like, did I peak in 2016? Like, am I at my peak now? Like, I'm doing this with the podcast. I'm like, oh, hopefully everyone that listened in season 1 will actually come back. You know, it's that kind of journey, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And from a personal level, like, I'm fascinated. Like, how did you girls meet?
We actually met on Tinder.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was at the start of 2020, just before lockdown. And I personally I was only really fresh out of a previous relationship. But I just felt cold and a little bit lonely to like download the app just to really talk to people. And I swiped on Taz and she sent me like the love heart eyes and emojis and she was like, oh, holy shit. And I was like, oh, perfect. Love this. And it just kind of went from there. And then, you know, we met 2 weeks later and then straight away entered lockdown. So we spent a lot of lockdown together. Like pretty much the whole of lockdown together. And that just, I mean, lesbian relationships already move fast. That progressed the relationship so quickly.
You probably told Dan Andrews to lock it down, didn't you, Taz?
No, I love that time. We got to spend so much time together. And that's kind of when we started our TikTok account too. We started it like 3 months after meeting each other.
Yeah, we actually started it before we were in an official relationship. So I think Taz asked me to be her girlfriend August 7th and we started the account on July 13th. So
oh, how good.
Yeah.
So the whole journey is there even before it was official.
Yeah. That's like scroll all the way back. Yeah, you make a really good point because I talk about this a lot, especially with social media, but also Tinder with online dating. Like I find it to be actually a really spiritual thing. And I'd be interested to see your opinions on this at the same time because like when we connect with people, like I always say that the universe brings people into our lives for a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting inclusion when we bring in online dating apps now because it's connecting people in really unique ways. But that's the thing. Imagine if you didn't swipe on Taz.
I know.
Like you could have, like we do miss people. So I always say, and I want everyone to have the faith that when you are online dating, like, you know, the three of us have done it and stuff like that. But even for everyone listening, like it's sort of like it kind of can be spiritually aligned, the people that we'll put in front of your face and how we connect in that sense.
100%. And I think something that's like kind of a testament to that is a few weeks before I created my Tinder profile, I went to the beach with one of my good friends, Lena, and I took this photo of 2 ladybugs that landed on my towel. And it was just up on my Instagram. And ladybugs is actually like something spiritual to Taz. So when she was scrolling through my Tinder profile, she swiped me because of the ladybugs.
No, that's not true.
Oh.
I swiped you
because you're hot.
Because you were hot.
Okay.
And then later when it matched, I was going through your photos and I was like, oh my God, the ladybird. So yeah, it wasn't because of the ladybug, but I do think it's a spiritual thing.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't think you can fall in love at first sight because that would just be like chemistry and connection.
Well, the first time you're with someone then.
Oh.
So, okay, good point. Maybe not online because, online's
'cause
completely physical
know.
at that stage. Yeah.
I think when you meet someone, your gut will tell you like straight away if they're meant for you. But it's just if you listen to it or not. That's the thing.
Intuition's the key thing. Like, I mean, that's it, isn't it? Like, how many times do we all look back at, you know, previous partners or even people that have come into our lives and we're like, fuck, I wish I listened to my gut on that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was Buddha, and someone will probably correct me for this, but I think it was Buddha that says when you meet your soulmates, you actually won't have butterflies in your stomach. It'll be the most calming, chilled feeling because you know that the souls are connecting again.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's really cute.
I like that.
And even energetically, like you girls really bond together. So it's nice to see.
Yay, that's so nice to hear. I definitely feel that. But
yeah.
And a good segue into spirituality. Now, I know we were talking a little bit about this off camera, but what is like your experience with it? Like, I think you were saying you've had sort of like, you said you had a phone reading before, was it?
What was that?
You had an online reading before?
I've had readings before. Yeah. You've had readings before. We're very spiritual. We try and keep the connection with our past loved ones like still there through like either numbers or symbols or just that kind of communication line open. So yeah, I went to a Catholic school growing up, but like I feel like I lean more into my spirituality now. But yeah, you're also pretty spiritual too.
Yeah, I'm the same as Taz pretty much. I went to a Christian school growing up, but I don't necessarily believe in God. I believe more in like the universe and being one. And
like a higher power,
yeah.
So even both going to religious schools when you were going through the schooling system, I mean, even though you don't consider yourselves religious per se, do you find that environment and being able to grow up in that system sort of gave you some benefits in life in terms of morals or guidance or sort of things like that? Or what are the things there around religion?
I definitely think it kept me open-minded to that. There's so many different versions of it for everyone. And it's really important to find one that you connect with, I think. But it's also really important to, you know, respect all of the different all of the different religions and, you know, beliefs and things like that. So I think that's what I got from it.
I definitely think morally it just kind of aligns you with like doing right by others and all those principles that you learn, you can apply it just to general being a good person.
That's it. It's just about being a fucking good person.
yeah.
I think people miss the point in.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I think we all believe in like a God or Buddha or whatever it is, universe we call it. But at the end of the day, it's probably just the same thing. We just give it different names.
That's it. Like I say this all the time. Like I call it the universe as well. No one argues that it doesn't exist. We just all have different names for it.
Yeah, 100%.
Agreed.
It's an important way to remember. But,
Yeah.
So in terms of your readings, because you know, I know I keep saying that you can definitely feel some stuff. It'd be weird if I didn't feel stuff, to be fair. So how long ago was your last foray into the spiritual realms? Have you ever done actually something together?
No.
Oh, this will be exciting then.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've never done
No wonder
anything
your families
together.
are so excited. Okay.
Yeah.
So my mum actually had a reading. Oh, she wanted me to mention this to you as well. My mum had a reading, I think like 8 months ago. And the lady said to her, yeah, someone, David is coming in. And mum remembered that on the call this morning. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Are we
She
best
thought it was going to
friends
be,
now?
she thought it was going to be, you know, a man's for her, but might be.
romantic partner.
Show me a picture of you. No.
But my last reading was, I think, at the start of mine and Taz's, maybe back in 2021, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that was just over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I got a reading. It would have been at like a spiritual expo, lots of people around.
Yeah.
Nothing super memorable about it that I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened or it didn't happen. So yeah, it's been a long time for
I
me.
love this.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be a David the Medium podcast unless we delved in to sort of see what's there. So if you ladies are open to it.
Totally.
We're open.
You're like,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
very
Like,
open.
well, now
Let's
you just
do
fucked the
it.
podcast because you said you're not open to it. No. You know, so as I was, you know, even saying to you off camera, but I don't know if I did say it off camera to be very fair, but especially since we've been sitting down now, there is like, it's fascinating because I can appreciate that you might have had family members or friends or anything that maybe didn't actually get to meet, you know, each other's families side as well. But for energies, and this is why I love reading for couples, because your families and your spirit energies are coming forward right in the middle of both of you, which means they're actually aligning with both of you.
Oh, good.
Now, instantly for you, Taz, you've got a gentleman who comes and puts his hand right on your face. And he says, Dave, and he says, these are my girls now. And he says, you tell Taz that Mark loves her too. Where does the name Mark connect?
Whoa.
Mark is my dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
I knew we were going to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, God, even I feel like, right through my chest.
We've always said that we think he's the one who like connected us, because there's just so many synchronicities that I remember Taz and I spoke about when we first met, that kind of like,
Aligned
you
with
know,
Dad.
he was somehow in her life too before all of this, and we've never been able to make sense of it. But
That's wild that you say that, because like I said, like he was coming in right in between you both, and he had his arm around you, but he put his hand on Taz's face and he says, that's my girl as well.
Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah,
So take
wow,
that as
I love
validation.
that.
Yeah.
That makes me feel
Especially
really
after
happy.
the conversation we literally just had, because I always say that even when I'm talking to my guests, like the conversations that are coming up are very spiritually led as well, or very spirit led.
Yeah,
And the fact that we even talked about Tinder being a guide from Spirit, and you said Dad connects you. Well, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, that's again validation and confirmation for both of you.
And I guess as someone, you know, that hasn't met your partner's like parent, they weren't here with us in the physical realm, it's always something that I'm like, oh, I hope he likes me.
Well, there's
You
your
know?
answer. Yeah,
So
I
that's
love that.
nice. That's nice.
Because Mark did pass quite a long time ago as well. Like we're going back at least 15 years. Like,
yeah, he
it's
passed away when I was 5, so I think it's like 20 through almost 23 years.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And he just said, he says, do you know Taz wanted to be a firefighter too?
Oh my god.
So who's the firefighter? Was Dad a firefighter?
Yes, he was.
And you wanted to be
And
one
she
back in the day,
was-
apparently.
Yeah. And I always wonder, like, was he like tapping on my shoulder back then? Like, we didn't know each other then, but yeah, I did want to be a firefighter.
That's the most.
I know.
Like, even,
I know.
Even I, like, some of the stuff that comes forward, I'm like, that makes sense. Like, yeah. And I'm like, even though I've done this for like a decade, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah. So funny.
Have you ever talked about wanting to be a firefighter publicly?
I did, but like, it was so long ago.
Yeah, random.
It was like, I went to this firefighting like day where they like see They kind of tell you about it. And I think I got interviewed. I was like a kid doing it. So
Really?
I was like so passionate and I wanted to do it. But I don't know if I would have mentally been able to go through the stress of what firefighters see like in a day-to-day life.
Well, that's it. Because Mark said he didn't get to do it for very long. So I don't. How long was he a firefighter for then?
Oh gosh, I'm actually not 100%
Yeah.
sure. Probably.
Doesn't feel that long for me.
No,
to be
it
fair.
wasn't long. Yeah.
What's the connection with New South Wales for either of you, or even ACT?
Canberra. A lot of my family's from Canberra.
From okay,
Yeah.
'cause I'm
But
just-
my dad's side's from New South Wales.
so it's both.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, my mum's family's mostly Canberra and my dad's side is in like Blue Mountains, Sydney.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Because I'm just like, I should explain this because I get a lot of questions from even just general people. They're like, "Hey, you like when it comes to locations, like so my geography is very strong. So Spirit just shows me a map and then they kind of like pin locations on it.
Love that.
So you're good with geography then?
Yeah. Like it was actually my like favorite subject in grade 3.
Oh,
Like I love
cool.
geography and flags and everything. Like ask me a country and I'll tell you the capital city.
Oh
Like
my
actually test me
gosh.
now.
Oh,
Think of a country.
I don't know if I can because I'm not good with countries.
Yeah, geography
It's like
sounds
over 200. You'll be
worse.
fine.
Canada.
That's the thing. Ottawa.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Just like I
So
just give up
funny.
reading.
You
So it's a
could've-
geography test.
You could have said the wrong one
No,
and
no.
I would have been like, good job.
I had to second guess it
I don't
anyway.
know.
Yeah, but please take that as validation, especially for you, Taz. That Mark is just really grateful that you're in my girl's life. Hey, there you go, in
Yeah.
my daughter's life.
Yeah.
And he says, Dave, because I had to leave so young, and he says everything happened so quickly,
Mm.
and he says I take responsibility for that. But he says, like, my journey also relates to Taz's mum, apparently. So it's this elements of sort of like how sometimes family relationships or family bonds can be a bit sort of fraught or a bit sort of negative, if that makes sense. Now, he loves your mum. I don't know, like I still feel like they maybe were connected when he passed over. But it's sort of this validation of when I look back on my kids. Do you have a sister?
Yes.
Perfect. And mum remarried or has a new partner?
She's had some partners here and there, but she's currently single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dry hands, bring them back to life with CeraQuin's repetitive. Choose soothing lavender. Dry hands, bring them back to life with CeraQuin's reparative hand cream. Choose soothing lavender or indulgent coconut. Both are packed with 5 essential ceramides to nourish, protect, and leave your skin feeling soft, smooth, and rejuvenated. Available now at Chemist Warehouse. It's interesting because he shows me, and I said he's Mark, but he shows me a bald man. I don't know whether that makes sense.
He's a bald man.
Oh, Mark is a bald man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But she also, she's previously dated mostly bald men.
She got a
Might
type.
be a type.
Yeah.
Sounds like my mum's type too, actually.
But and what is Alfred?
Oh, that's my nunnu.
Your grandfather?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So I call him Freddie, but Alfred is.
Yeah, he shows me Alf from Home and Away.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's the thing that you call him Freddie because I
Yeah.
got Alf and then Fred.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Fred. Freddie. Beautiful. And Mark also wants you to know that he's reconnected with his mother, which is going to be your grandmother.
My nana.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her so
She
much.
comes forward as the very quintessential grandmother. Like, again, very modern woman, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
she's still very kind of cool and with it.
Yes.
But she references passing a longer time after her son. So
yeah. I
her-
think she passed, I think it was 2 years ago. maybe
Okay.
3.
I got to meet her.
Yeah, I was about to say, because
Yeah.
she's coming in between both
Yeah.
of you again, so
Yeah.
she definitely knows you.
It's cool.
And it's sort of this, I mean, she's so fine. I mean, I don't think either of you girls would ever second guess this anyway, but she goes, I like that she's with her.
Yeah.
So it's this element of like,
Yeah.
and I guess it kind of leads back into even like the religious conversation we had,
Yeah.
and, their views on same-sex relationships, but it's sort of like, she's like, no, I like.
Yeah, that's really nice because my nana was very, very religious.
That's it.
But there was never any questioning. I never came out to her like directly because I didn't know how that would be taken.
Yeah.
But we did go to Sydney and I introduced her to Taz and we all hung out. And there was
it.
already an understanding like we're together.
Yeah.
And my family knew that. But there was no conversation of like, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
this is what it is. It's just like, oh, this is my partner.
Well, that's it. And she appreciates, like, it's not that she appreciates you not telling because she's so
Yeah.
fun with it anyway, but she appreciates the thoughts around it. And it's just this element of like perfect way of wording it. She says, I appreciate how my girl thinks.
Yeah.
So it's this element of like, that the whole reason I want her to know that I love Taz too is because I never want her to think that I would feel any like different about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice.
That's really nice. Yeah.
And even for everyone listening, like if we did have any relatives, and I mean your grandmother's definitely not anyway, but even if we did have any relatives that were really like homophobic or if they're really racist or, you know, some of the human views that we all hold in one way or another, the soul doesn't hold on to that.
Yeah.
Because the soul sees it as, you know, the journey on earth. It's not a soul emotion to hate someone based on their skin color or their sexuality or their gender or whatever it is. Like the soul doesn't give a shit. So when they're up there, they understand. So, but I mean, where does Anne connect actually?
Anne's her name.
It's perfect. It's
My
my
nana.
mum's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, she showed me my mum very clearly. So that's her way. Perfect.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
So that's just Anne's way of validating that it's sort of like I'm still exactly who I am.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like even down there, I was just happy for it.
Yeah, that's so nice. I'm really glad. She's
and
such a sweetheart.
Yeah, and she does have a man with her, which I'm going to assume is probably your grandfather, I would
Yes.
say.
Yeah, he passed.
She rolls her eyes at him.
Yeah.
She's like,
He passed a while back. Yeah.
and this is Mark's mother, obviously.
Mhm.
Yep.
Now, Anne is referencing that she has a daughter that put a lot of her time into caring for me or looking after me. So I don't know whether she was. I don't think that she was living with an aunt of yours. I don't know. Well, she might have been actually. Who was Anne?
Auntie Lizzie, maybe. I know Auntie Lizzie took a lot of care of
Yeah.
Nana because they lived in the same, the
Perfect.
same.
Yeah, that's it. Because it kind of feels like they're together, but then I was like, I don't know if they are living together. But if they're living close towards each other, that
Yes,
can definitely be it.
they were close.
So I don't feel like you speak to Auntie Lizzie that often, to be very fair. Like, you know what I mean? Like Aussie families, we don't really speak to our loved ones every day. So it might be a bit of a weird thing if you called her out of the be like, I was on a Medium's podcast and he says that Mum wants you to know that she's proud of you. And but that's it. It's that element of
cute.
thank you for taking care of me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Anne's also
I'll let her
incredible.
know because that's very nice.
You can let her know?
Yeah,
Great.
I will. Yeah.
We'll send her the clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is this element of just, you know, and I think this is again very common because the three of us can probably definitely relate to this, and I think a lot of people listening can as well. But when our loved ones get older, like they always feel like they're a burden or they don't want to be a burden, and we all know it's not like that. Like we just want to be able to love them and take care of them.
Yeah,
but I
totally.
find the older generation, they can get so stubborn with that because they know what it's like to be 20 and they don't want to feel older. So
I feel like Nana was very stubborn.
literally
with
where
that,
she's coming in with it, because it's this element of like, I'm still me and I don't want anyone to feel like that they have to take care of me and I don't want to be taken care of. But, but also thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and she says the girls have to go to Darwin. I mean, I don't know why. But
I'm originally from Darwin. I was like born and raised there.
Really?
Taz has never been though, so she hasn't seen where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what were you doing up in Darwin? You were born and raised there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I lived there for 18 years.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it there.
It's actually a really cool city.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Like I personally would never go back to live there now, but I really loved growing up there. I got a lot from it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Adelaide and Perth and places like that, like the real Australia.
Yeah.
When you go there, you actually feel like you're going back to Australia of the 1990s. Like it's very normal and chilled and safe and fun and
Yeah.
I don't get to meet many people that were born and raised in Darwin.
Love that. Yeah. No, okay, we'll definitely go back.
Darwin trip on the
Take you
cards,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. So according to the family, you've got to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they're jumping around like crazy, but it's this element of like they can have kids, you know. I mean, that's a bit of a
Oh
personal-
my god, that
is that
actually
a thing
was
at the
one of our
moment?
questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we get
Okay.
asked this online
can
a
only
lot.
imagine,
Yeah. And we're like, we have no idea. We did a challenge back in 2021 where we hired these mechanical babies. We had twins, and
I need to watch that.
it flipped everything for us. We didn't realize how hard it was going. We only had them for 48 hours, and they weren't even real. And we were like, "Whoa, we actually don't know if we want to do this."
Yeah.
So it's always this constant battle. Do we want to? Do we not want to? And we just, I don't know.
We just kind of ask, like, I wonder if they'll come through and say anything about it.
Well,
So,
that's because I mean they're throwing so many different symbols and things in front of my head. They're not like keep hearing it's like no kids they can have. I'm like okay, so they can have kids.
We can, but do we want to?
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean with obviously same-sex couples like us, I'm involving myself with the throuple. I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'm so sorry. But like obviously like pregnancy isn't going to happen accidentally for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a very big spiritual journey for anyone who's wanting children or anyone that's unfortunately, you know, gone through the devastation of miscarriages or pregnancy loss and things like that. But if it's going to happen, it's already pre-written into your stories. And all that spirit kind of wants to tell you, it's this element of just smoothing it over in that sense. That it's sort of like, okay, if and when you're ready, it will find its way to you.
Yeah. Okay.
We're open. I feel like we've been open to that. Like whatever's meant to happen will happen. We might not logically know at this moment what's going to happen, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go with it.
Alessia, you're going to have to carry it though.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We literally had this discussion 2 nights ago, and I'm like, no.
That's why spirit's because I guess it's a thing that lesbian couples would always wonder. Like with guys, obviously we're not carrying it, but like yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think Taz was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll carry it because like if I see you do it first, then I'm not going to want to do it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I'll get scared. Seeing like her go through the whole birthing process, I'd be like, oh, maybe I won't.
The good news is, so the birthing process actually feels pretty easy for you. Like, I mean, how do we define easy, I guess? But like, I mean, every woman who's ever been pregnant is like, go fuck yourself. It's not easy, but like, it doesn't feel like it would be anything overly like traumatic.
Okay, cool.
And I always say to women, is, you know, I had the conversation with a good friend of mine a few years ago because she was pregnant, and there's so much pressure that's placed on women when they're pregnant because like, okay, it is a miracle and it is incredible to be able to go through, but women aren't allowed to admit that it's also fucking exhausting and it's painful and they hate it. And God forbid you admit that, because then suddenly you're not, you know, honoring the miracle of childbirth.
Yeah, true.
So I always say to women, it's okay. Like, because I said that to my friend and she goes, I'm so glad you said that. She goes, I just fucking hate being pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine.
That's okay.
I would hate having a bowling ball in my stomach as well. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that you aren't incredibly grateful and don't think it's a miracle journey.
Literally.
It just means that you actually fucking hate having to be pregnant, and that's okay. So you'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Fine.
Yeah.
But after all that, you'll be fine. So yeah, I mean, I think the whole reason that again they're bringing it up, it probably, you know, as you mentioned, you had the conversation yourselves about it two nights ago. Spirit just wants you to know that they're around for that. There's sort of a validation of 33. So either one of you may be 33 or maybe let's see when you're 33, but there's a very strong symbol of 33. Who was also... Was anyone born or crossed over on either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
My nun knew Freddie. His birthday is New Year's Day.
Perfect.
So...
Okay. Because as I was talking about 3-3, they showed like fireworks going off, which is always for me around New Year's. But it was a reference of celebration or
I'm trying to remember when
life.
he passed. I don't think he passed on New Year's Day because I think I'd remember that. Yeah.
Max. Where does Max connect? M-A-X.
It's my mum.
Beautiful. I love your mum. She's been through
great.
a lot.
Yeah.
But she's such a leader in terms of wisdom. But the big message for Max is, what's her full name? Like
Maxine.
Yeah, I was about to say probably not Max. Yeah. Maxine. The big message for Maxine is it's this element of kind of like, it's not imposter syndrome, but it's sort of like have more faith in your ability.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because it's sort of like she's such a gentle, nice woman. Like, and the quintessential mum. Like, she'd do absolutely anything for her kids, which also includes you, but there may be other siblings for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a brother?
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
That feels hot as well. I didn't think he was gay. So it goes, he's not gay. I say this all the time. Spaghetti straight till it gets hot as well. No. Oh, he's got a girlfriend or fiance.
He's got a girlfriend. Yeah.
Fiance.
Ooh.
What happened to Steph, or is she Steph?
No, Steph is an ex.
Yeah, okay. Because Spirit said, what happened to Steph? And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck Steph is. That's right.
I actually don't know.
So spill the tea on the podcast. What happened to Steph? No, yeah. So that was his ex-partner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're listening, Steph, but you know, what are you going to do about it? No, that's all right. No, she's nice. I'm sure she's lovely. I think they just sort of disconnected in their own senses. They were growing on different paths. His new partner feels very aligned with your brother, to be very fair, and she feels like a nice girl.
She's lovely.
You and her will actually have a lot in common, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you probably
we
met
do
her,
connect.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think it's this element of like you're both very similar women, and then you're coming into the same family, so you can kind of appreciate. But like you and your brother are polar opposites, but you actually feel very connected at the same time.
Yeah,
anyway, so
totally.
He's just a bit more like he's just a boy.
Yeah.
He's just a stereotypical boy, your brother.
Yeah. Love him though.
Yeah, he feels like a nice guy. He really does, but just like boy. So with Max, it's sort of like we can cut this part out if you don't want it in, but they're very sort of proud of her adversity and her growth following the relationship with your father.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Because I think, and I don't like to ask questions, but was that a bit of a negative relationship?
It was, it was challenging
Yeah.
for sure for my mum, probably. They're like on good terms now in terms of like anything to do with us kids, but like not staying in touch.
Yeah. Because her ability to help women through they say my life journey, which means Max's life journey.
Yeah.
So that can be motherhood, absolutely, but it can also be partners where we don't feel as connected as we could be, or can even be through separation and divorce. She's got a very strong spiritual side to her as well. So I think her intuition is quite strong, but again, she just needs to trust it.
100%.
And she's also, if she does delve into, inverted commas, spirituality, Maxine sort of surrounds herself with a lot of energy drainers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and I think it's part of her nature because she's so giving and caring.
Yeah.
But it's that age-old saying, you give an inch, people will take a mile.
Yeah.
So it's just important for Max to also set very strong boundaries. And I'm not sure whether she knows exactly how to do that properly yet because she's just a lovely woman.
Yeah.
So especially in the spiritual realms, because it can attract like people that just like without sounding mean, because it's not a mean thing to say, but it's sort of like there are people going through a lot of grief, a lot of heaviness. They can be a bit sort of lower frequency as we all go through that.
Totally.
But then when someone like Maxine comes in, they will really drain her batteries because they'll just want to be that, if that makes sense.
I think she's getting better at picking those people and gravitating towards energy fillers, not drainers, but it would still be difficult for her because she is just such a beautiful person. Like she wants to help people. So
it's a journey for all of us.
Yes.
To learn. Did you get a tattoo for your dad?
Not yet.
He's tattooed on your arm, but it's more of a I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like an emoji. I don't know. But as I'm looking at your tattoos.
Oh.
But if you don't have one for him yet.
Yeah. No, but I can.
Yeah.
If he wants one, yeah.
No pressure, but like
your mum's going to be like, oh my God.
Yeah, mum doesn't love tattoos.
It should be fine. I hate asking questions. What's your mum's name?
Helen.
Helen, okay. That's it. It's my mum's sister.
Yeah.
So they put it in my family, but they won't show me who. So my mum is Anne and her sister's Helen, and that's your grandmother and your mum. It's not a warning. And when we talk about health, ailments, illnesses, causes, it's not saying that's going to happen. These are things that people have already had, unfortunately, or they've crossed over from, or things that we know that are going on.
Yeah.
What's Helen been concerned about with health, though? Or has there been sort of triggers in the family that are now bringing it up as a forefront to her? Because they don't want, first and foremost, they don't want Helen to stress about health.
Yeah. She's just always had issues with her health, to be honest.
She's got IBS.
Yeah. Like all autoimmune diseases pretty much. So like a lot of gut issues, I feel like is where a lot of them stem from.
So I do talk about this quite regularly, but I'm a very strong understander / believer now that anything that happens to us health-wise usually has an energetic or emotional beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, females predominantly store stress and anxiety through the abdomen. Males predominantly store it in the chest. So we have more issues with heart and lungs, and females have more issues with gut health, reproductive health, things like that. With Helen, see, Mark really does want to look after her.
Yeah.
And it's just such an appreciation because my girls were so young when I crossed. Like, how old were you when Dad crossed, did you say?
5.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
So
no wonder he's so just bonded to you.
Yeah.
And this is what makes women and mothers in general so superhuman. Because
my
it's sort
God.
of like I wouldn't know where to begin to raise 2 kids
Literally.
by myself. And
I don't know how she did it. Every time I think of it, I'm like, I don't know if I would have made it through that.
No, that's it. Like you look at what some mothers and women go through, you're like, I have trouble now and I'm normal in life at the moment. Like things are actually going pretty well. And I'm still like, oh. So it's sort of this element of release because in the back of her mind, she always wonders whether she's doing the right thing, which I think, again, is a very common thought for a lot of us. But it's sort of this validation from everyone that loves Helen. It's sort of like, you've done well.
Yeah.
And you and your sister are great girls. Like, you know what I mean? And that doesn't happen by chance. It happens because of good mothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the IBS and a lot of sort of the internal health issues. Anyone in her family have like chest cancer, like breast or lung? Or even for you, Taz? I don't
think so.
There's heart issues.
Potentially.
I mean, heart issues are probably more on my side of the family.
Yeah. I think Freddie passed pretty quick, to be fair.
Yep,
That
he
might have
did.
been hard, actually.
Yeah.
I just think for Helen, like it's not a warning, like I said, but they just want her to sort of, it's the element of now she's in her like releasing era, if that makes
She
sense.
is. Yeah. Max has been helping her with that actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I
Yeah.
know.
No wonder your families just feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, every lesbian's dream, you feel like sisters. So it's like, great, thank you. Like, that's the thing, your families look at you as the one big family.
Yeah.
Spirit.
So am I allowed to ask questions?
That's perfect, because I was about to ask whether you had anything for me. So
I was going to ask, when it comes to health, is there ways like people can let go or forgive that it can help like release some of maybe negativity stored inside of us? That
it's such a great question, and it's so important again for everyone listening when we talk about this, because forgiveness is again one of the most difficult things we can do, but it's also the most important that we can do for our own health. And what I want everyone to sort of look at it from this perspective, your peace is more important than anything else. And I say, and other mediums will have a different point of view, but I always say, you don't have to forgive them for what they've done, because we can't change the past, and everything that happens to us teaches us lessons, and it sets us on, soul journeys and things that we evolve through. But we can forgive them for not knowing better, or we can forgive them for not treating us in the way that we deserve to be treated. And again, our peace is more important than anything else.
Yeah,
so
and
true.
When we can really take that on board, and with no buts, because again, like I look at maybe friends of mine or family members of mine, and there is still a lot of anger and hurt there that disguises itself in other ways. But it's just that remembrance. So like I said, our mindset and our health and our peace is more important than anything else.
Totally.
So when we do that, again, the body releases it, because I've talked about this on previous episodes as well, so it's great that we're talking about this again. But every single version of us from the day that we were conceived, not even born, the day that we were conceived, up until this morning exists in here.
Whoa.
Now, Taz and Alessia from 5 years ago, they're not walking the streets at the moment, but they still exist in your mind. So the emotions, the journeys, everything that you've both gone through, even though it may not be happening now, it still is for that girl in here.
Right.
So to be able to resolve things or to find peace and forgiveness in things not only benefits us as of today, but it also helps calm them and put them at ease.
That makes sense.
And then their emotions and their negative thoughts, their feelings, their anxieties and their stresses, it's not impacting our body anymore. Because this is the thing, like we see people that are healthy for 30 years and then suddenly they'll get cancers that go rapid, or they get really autoimmune chronic diseases. And it's like, well, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
But we can tie it in. Now, if we learn to heal ourselves completely and we are, superhuman, we're not immortal. Like something that's still going to cause us to cross over, obviously.
Yeah.
But it does help ease things. Like, for example, like I find when I read people, a lot of women that have really negative relationship journeys in the physical world, where they aren't able to heal or resolve it emotionally, it impacts the female physical centers. They can end up with breast cancers. They end up with ovarian cancers, uterine cancer, like things that are predominantly exclusively female. Older generations that end up having Alzheimer's and dementias, it's usually because they were holding on to thoughts and patterns and things that they couldn't say. So it stuck in their head and ate away at their mind.
Yeah.
And we physically then see that.
Yeah.
So that's where they're really proud of Helen. And especially bringing Max into it as well, with the elements of how they're able to guide each other, because Helen's also balancing Max out, which I love. Like it's not a one-way street here.
Yeah. Totally.
Max feels fun. She does. They like her. I don't know whether she used to have red hair or whether she. I don't think. Does she have it now?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because like it's not like
Used to be
fire
red,
engine
red. Now it's like chill red.
Who's this again? Sorry.
Max.
Max. Yes.
Yeah,
I know I said it out loud, but I was like, it came from them. And someone said Helen needs to cut her toenails. I'm like, okay. Right.
That's probably your
That
dad.
would totally be done.
That was it was a male voice. I was like, it's probably his mic.
Yeah. He actually said to her in the reading, she got a reading a couple months ago, and he's like, oh, it's so funny watching you get old.
So cheeky.
That is actually Mark to a T though, because he's kind of like that real man thing, but I think he likes to take the piss, but will also say comments without thinking. Like, you know what I mean? Like typical man. But just everyone up here is just really proud of both your journeys.
Oh, great.
And it's this element where the next sort of stage is a good word, but they keep saying errors. But the next era, like ERA, not E-double-E.
Yeah.
You know the word. I can't spell it out. It's been a long morning already. But it's all about openness and connecting and communication between you both. Now, you've got the public, obviously everything you're putting out there, but it's about how we have communication with each other.
Okay.
So you are good at that already, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like your energies, as I said, are very aligned. But it's what Spirit would love you to do is actually start telling each other a lot more about who you were before, in the year before you met each other.
Okay. Yeah.
The 5 years before you met each other. Kind of even how we were talking in the potty before about like, if you could go back then, like what would you do differently? But it's sort of like not about your relationship because there's nothing that should do differently there. But it's sort of like you talk about how you felt about the journey. So I don't know how to translate that into English, but I guess it's kind of self-explanatory.
Because a lot of what we talk about is probably the future.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the future.
That's it. They want you to go back into the past.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
I love that.
Good, because I didn't know why we had to say that. But if you talk a lot about the future, that would be why.
Yeah.
Because to be able, God, this is deep. It's like to be able, because they're referencing a hot air balloon. So to be able to take off or to be able to fly, we need to have great foundations. So if you want to be able to grow a tower together or grow a castle together, then you've got to lay the foundations. So that's why, connecting the past, talking about the past, not just for you girls, for all of us.
Yeah. Totally.
Lay it. So it'll be good.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I like that
It's
too.
a massive year of travel ahead as well. There's definitely something about sponsorship. You might even be asked, and this is a little bit spicy, might be something about going to Israel for you girls.
Oh.
That might be next year. The referencing the Israeli flag. I mean, I know you've got Maltese heritage, but you're not Jewish, are you? No, you went to a Catholic Christian schools.
Oh my God, is it safe to like travel to places?
Well, that's it.
That's the thing.
I mean, would I go to Israel tomorrow? No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But like, it could be something to do. And I can appreciate this because I know you've got a big focus on, LGBT rights and focuses. It could be something to do with Israeli pride.
Wow.
Because they're referencing the pride flag in Tel Aviv. Now, Tel Aviv, the city in Israel, probably has one of the biggest pride parades in the whole world. And Israel, or more so Tel Aviv, has become like the gay capital now.
Oh.
Which I don't think a lot of people know.
Yeah.
Because they just see Israel as this dangerous, bad country. But it's the only country in the Middle East where it's actually safe and open to be same-sex attracted and very supported.
Amazing.
So there could be something there about your opportunities to do, like I can appreciate it's a bit of a controversial topic as of, May 2025, but I think next year will be different. But there's a lot of travel coming up anyway, and I can imagine you girls might have things booked. Did you say you're going to Europe?
No, nothing planned.
Nothing here.
Okay,
Well,
that
if
was
we
that
do,
was
that would be nice.
that was it wasn't a psychic download. I think that was a conversation I had with my friend in the car. So that's okay on the way because I was like, someone told me they were going to Europe recently.
No, we do have a little bit of travel coming up in the next month.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with work as well. So I don't know where you girls are at in terms of wanting to do like even like public speaking in that sense. I know you're doing it already, of course, but there's going to be a lot of like keynote things where they're actually going to want you to talk on topics or life on journeys. Now, I can appreciate that's probably happened already and you're probably doing it already, but there's a lot more of that coming.
Cool.
Yeah, something that like I want to focus on like in my future. I'd love to like do that more full time, speaking to people, traveling and doing that. Whereas you're kind of on the fence about keynote, aren't you?
Yeah, I love our job at the moment. I love the social media side of it in terms of like keynotes and stuff. I'm not, I personally, I know you love that, but I don't know if I'm led to it.
Have you done much of it?
No.
So that's it.
But I think if I did more of it, I might be like,
literally what Dad says, because I think you're actually a little bit like me, Alessia, because, and we were sort of saying that before, because I'm a natural introvert. And, because I know we just had this conversation, but like if you put me in a group of 5 people that I haven't met, I don't like really having to do small talk.
Yeah.
Give me a microphone and put me in front of 500 people and I actually love it.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll actually be
I am
like.
like that, yeah.
Once you get up and do it, because you've got a good story and a good message to tell with whatever they're wanting you to focus on.
Yeah.
So it's about self-trust, yes, but it's sort of like most people aren't thrilled by the thought of public speaking. That's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
Delve into that. What's the trigger? No, I'm just kidding. But like, we're human. That's what the trigger. But I think there's like you'll end up probably, no offense, but you'll end up probably being better and enjoy it more than Taz.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good. She picks things up really quickly, and I feel like you're capable to do absolutely anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, I
So,
definitely feel confident in that.
Yeah.
Like I know I can do anything that I want to, but I'm just like, it's just doing it for the first time and then being like, oh, that wasn't actually that
That's
bad.
it.
I'll do it again.
It's like me when I did my first live show. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. And, you know, my producers, Tully and Sarah, were there for that. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. And then I got up and I'm like, oh, that was fucking fun. Like, I loved it. Yeah. Mark is also picking on your neighbors because he says they stink out the fucking hallway.
Okay,
So what's this about?
I don't think the hallway smells bad, but when we first moved in, someone kept leaving their rubbish not in the rubbish room, but not putting it down the chute. And I stuck a note on the door and I was like, someone put your rubbish down the chute, please.
He's just not a fan of the smells in the public places. So if there's rubbish in the hallways or the chute.
Yeah.
Put it down. Why would you not put it down the fucking chute anyway? Just put it down the chute.
It's already
You've walked
there.
it all the way there. Exactly. It's like... It's like when you make
That's so
toast and you
funny.
leave the fork or the fork, you leave the knife on the sink. It's like, put it in the fucking dishwasher. You just made the toast, like you've done the hard part.
That's me.
Oh, don't be pointing it. I don't want to cause drama. I don't want drama.
So funny.
It's when Spirit again brings up crazy, silly things like that. It's
Yeah,
just showing
that's
that they're more
funny.
in your environment or that they're definitely
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's really nice knowing that he's around. I definitely feel him and I love knowing him and Nana are there. They're like
That's
my
it.
main
like,
two.
yeah, but it's for both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even Freddie comes forward for you. Like that's the thing. It's
Aw.
sort of like they're all just coming forward straight in the middle.
Yeah.
And he says go to South Korea, so that might also be something that comes up again. God, there's a lot of travel. Like I know you ladies mentioned you've got, there's a lot happening already.
Yeah.
Health wise, I didn't have any concerns, and I know we keep sort of going to that, so I don't know whether there's any questions you had for me around health or wellness or anything like that.
I feel like good about our health at the moment, but I think, we put ourselves under a lot of stress sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you
and-
get ulcers?
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
I feel it suddenly.
Yeah. So like
Stress.
sometimes I wonder if am I stressing myself out for too much? I don't want that to cause anything.
Yeah, peace is our biggest priority in our
Yeah.
relationship, our friendships, and our life. And anything that disrupts that, we're very quickly to be like, oh no.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Because awareness is the key thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And as Spirit says, it comes down to communication, which obviously you're good at.
Yeah.
Stress management. The body will give us signs if we're stressed. But
Yeah.
it's just it's a good sort of reminder when we're feeling like that. Okay, what is the trigger point? What can we do differently?
True.
Like, how can I manage it? Is it in my control right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as humans in this world, we're so used to thinking 10 steps ahead because we, the world that we live in is chaotic and we have to think, okay, what am I doing next week? Okay, where am I going to be in June?
Yeah.
None of us pay attention to what am I feeling and doing and how am I right now?
Mm.
So a
Yeah.
good message for everyone listening. Pay attention. Where are you right now? What's the main emotions you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
Talk about that with each other. You'll be fine.
We talk about it a lot.
Good. No, yeah, so keep doing it. Dad's especially
Yeah.
there at night for you. He's very present in the home and also the car, but in the evenings, it's very strongly related.
Yeah,
So-
I definitely feel that for sure at nighttime. I think that's when I think about them the most.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you ever ask Spirit for guidance or help or anything
all the
like that?
time.
All the time.
Out loud too.
Good.
Please show us the way.
What kind of things are you asking for at the moment?
Just a bit of guidance on I guess everyone asks this generic question, but am I on the right path? That's something we're always trying to step it up and level it up, but I never want it to come at the expense of our relationship, so.
Do you feel like you're on the right path?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels challenging and then you question, you don't know if it's coming from mental or heart or gut. So that's the challenge sometimes when you're stressed. You're like, what is that emotion? Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
But if I really think about it, I'm like, yeah, everything feels right.
I would probably ask specifically maybe the start of this year, are we on the right track career-wise? Because we really pivoted in what we were focusing on for this year and it felt like it came out of nowhere, but it is so aligned, but it's also really difficult.
Growth happens in the uncomfortable. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, that came from me, yes, but that came from Spirit. But so what I found in Australia especially, and I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who lives in the United States now. And shout out to Lola Berry because she may actually be listening because she's so supportive. But in Australia, she was a nutritionist. And that was her gig, and she did that. But then she moved to LA because she wanted to move into the acting space. But she's also a podcaster. She's a keynote speaker.
Cool.
And in Australia, and there's a point to the madness of this point, but in Australia, she's labelled as a nutritionist. And in the environment that we're in right now, you can't have all hats. Like people are going to say, okay, you have to be this person, you have to be this person, or you can't do that and that and that and that. Overseas, she's able to be a podcaster, a nutritionist, a voiceover coach, an actor. She can do it all, and no one blinks an eyelid there. If anything, they're supportive of it. So where Spirit goes with you, with the element of pivoting, or if there's any change that goes there, it's naturally occurring how it's meant to for you. But if you have the faith that it will be good, then it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we fast forward 12 months, where do Taz and Allesia want to be? If it's May 2026, what's the answer to that question? Where do you want to be 12 months from now?
I definitely want to be engaged.
No pressure. Great.
He's getting.
I was like, you saw me look up.
I'm like, don't say anything.
And I just want like a successful business. I know the Taz and Allesia business is successful, but we started a new one called Creators Club Australia, and I have really, really high hopes for it.
Yeah.
What about you, Taz?
Yeah, that's
that was me, not Spirit.
For the first time, I'm usually pretty good at like, what does the next year or 5 years look like? But for the first time, it kind of feels like a clean slate. Like we don't know if we want to have kids. We don't know how many businesses we want to run. So I'm like, I actually don't know. And I kind of feel like that's a good spot for me because sometimes I get a bit fixated.
That's it. And Spirit asked you the question when you said that. They said, as of right now, do you need to know?
No, I'm okay with not knowing, which is really strange for me. Usually I'm like a control freak. I'm like, I need to know what's happening.
But isn't it a great spot to be
It is.
in?
It's very nice.
Because we can have guidance. We can have ideas where we want to be and what we want to be able to do. But when we can actually just be present and allow it to play out how it's meant to while we're still steering the wheel, it's okay not knowing.
So true. And sometimes we might limit ourselves being like, oh, I want to do this, but what if we're capable of more too? So I'm starting to like learn like, just let it happen. Don't force things, and like Spirit will guide us to what's right.
I feel like we're good. We're good at that. We're good at just letting go.
Yeah, love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Now, girls, where can everyone find you on socials?
At Taz and Allesia on pretty much every platform.
Yeah.
Every platform?
Yep.
Rumble? Was Rumble a platform? I don't even know.
It's one that we're not on.
I tried to think of the most obscure fucking one I could think of, but like
never heard of it.
Not on Rumble, guys. I didn't even know Rumble's a platform, to be fair.
Thank you so much for the
absolute
reading.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks so
thank
much
you.
for joining me, and I look forward to speaking to you girls soon.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, guys.